Welcome to the Jack
And the Bonch
Show.
I guess you could call this the season finale, so to speak.
Yeah, because the
wrapping
next show...
wrapping up the 2012 football season.
Yep.
What really stood out to you? What are you going to remember from the Super Bowl? Obvious. Besides that, we'll get to the obvious in a second.
Okay.
Let's talk strictly game right now. Strictly football related.
You know, it's one of those weird Super Bowls because I feel like not like an aberration almost, not an aberration, but one of those Super Bowls where sometimes it's Super Bowl, oh, that's the start of something.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when the Packers won, even though they haven't won it again, you thought, okay, Aaron Rodgers, it's his time, we're starting something.
When the Patriots were in their dynasty.
Exactly. If the Broncos had won, you would have thought, oh, wow, here starts Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning's going to restart the... Well, not very long. He's 36 years old already.
Or even if the 49ers had won, you maybe thought, oh, here starts the age of Colin Kaepernick.
The age of the Harbaugh dynasty is going to start up. Yeah.
Exactly. But by the Ravens winning... I think it's going to be one of those years where, oh yeah, the Ravens won that year. It
feels like the end of an era, I would say. Because I feel like the Ravens have had this 5-year run of very, very good seasons and have finally culminated a Super Bowl.
It feels like the end of an era in a lot of ways for certain reasons. But just because lots of things happened in these playoffs that sort of haven't happened, really. Where the Patriots didn't get as far as we thought. Even the fact that the Broncos, even though... It was the Broncos. It's Peyton Manning again, and Peyton Manning wasn't successful, which I guess is Peyton Manning in the playoffs. But that's the fact that the Saints didn't make the playoffs this year, even though you could still say the whole thing with Bountygate or whatever. And then the Packers losing. It was like a lot of new teams almost. It's just sort of...
I mean, in AFC, it's been the same 3 teams for 10 years now. The Patriots, the Colts, and the Steelers. So it's nice to see somebody different. I think what you're trying to say is that we've been used to this Peyton and Brady owned conference for a long...
And Big Ben, too.
Big Ben, too. I don't want to leave him out, yes.
Say Big Ben.
But I think we're finally at the point where maybe we're going to see a little bit of changing the guard.
Yeah, even with the Texans and the Bengals in the AFC.
Yes.
Almost more... It's weird, because the Ravens aren't the team that I think is going to be the new powerhouse in the NFL.
I agree.
I think
this is...
But it was almost like... But they sort of cleaned the slate. It's almost like, a fresh start for everyone. It's weird.
They took out Peyton. They took out Brady.
Yeah, and it almost feels like, okay, next year we're starting all over.
Because at the point, weird. Brady and Peyton, they're getting old. They're getting up there.
But we're also at the point where they play... Tom Brady gets to play in the AFC East. He's basically guaranteed a playoff spot.
And Peyton's in the AFC West.
The AFC West. He's guaranteed a playoff spot. So they're still going to be there. That's what's weird.
But it was nice to see somebody else finally step up and get to the Super Bowl and win it. Other than the same 3 quarterbacks.
I agree. Even the fact that the Giants didn't even make the playoffs. It was just a weird year football.
It was a little strange. Well, I think the post-lockout year was so strange with all the records being broken and this
tight ends going berserk.
The tight ends, the 5,000-yard passers. That was really such a strange year. It kind of threw us off the path we were on. And I think this year's kind of getting back to what we should be used to, which is, yes, you still need a very good quarterback on an offense in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think we're at the point now where the whole running game and defense, it doesn't really
matter at all
anymore.
It doesn't really.
Because, if you set up the Super Bowl of the 49ers and the Ravens, you would think, okay, it's going to be a defensive battle. And what happens? Offense.
But it's one of those Super Bowls. I don't think it's weird because it was close. It's sort of, I think I said exactly what
it was close, but you don't think it was a great game.
The Ravens are going to be leading, and then the 49ers will sort of come back, but they just won't do it. That's exactly what happened.
That did happen.
I don't think it was a memorable... It's sort of like when the Bucks won the Super Bowl, and it's sort of like...
I enjoyed that Super Bowl. I didn't like that Raiders team. I thought it was hilarious. That was a blowout. This wasn't a blowout.
No, not...
Well, maybe it was. We'll talk about that in a second.
I mean, in the way that... It just sort of it's like, the Bucks won the Super Bowl, and now it just sort of happened, and then it sort of...
I will give the Super Bowl credit. For whatever reason, no matter what happens, it finds a way to be a close game at the end where you're still watching and you want to see what happens. It's always a one-possession game, it seems like. It always goes down the wire lately.
Overall, it's weird. I really didn't like this Super Bowl.
Well...
I really don't like it.
Here's the thing. In my opinion, we were headed towards a blowout. It was all Baltimore Ravens. And then what happened?
The lights
Turn the lights off.
Oh.
Turn the lights off.
This light isn't on. It's the light behind you. Where is it?
Middle third quarter. Oh, it's dark now.
We should leave this on for a third of the show.
Yes, we should leave this off for this segment.
Oh, you can tell there's a big difference.
Yeah, see?
I can't perform in this.
Yeah.
Change my whole momentum.
I know.
You know what can I just start out with something that I don't like?
Sure.
I don't like announcers or commentators who, after the fact, will go, well, they've had, they're used to it. You can't say that doesn't make a difference. It makes a difference.
Of course it does. There's a difference between, at the 5-minute mark, it was just 5 minutes. Yeah, it was a half hour. It was a second halftime.
Or people who say, oh, well, they have halftime. That could change. No! You expect halftime. You know halftime is coming.
Even the halftime is longer than the regular halftime. A regular halftime is 12 minutes the entire year, and then there's not a Beyonce halftime show, which makes it 30 minutes. So it was already a longer halftime than usual. You were just getting back to the flow of the game, and the lights go out. And it was all Ravens, especially after the kick return, which started in the second half. Any thoughts of, maybe the Niners can come back?
Well,
after the kick return, I thought the whole world thought, game over, we're done.
Don't really have to watch.
Yeah, if you're the casual football fan at that point, you're turning the game off.
Time to eat, you can eat more.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to pay attention.
Yeah, let me go get another beer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, and I remember saying it to you, it was uh-oh, all the momentum stopped. What? If the Niners come back now, I wouldn't be surprised.
But see, I'm really glad the Niners didn't come back. That would have really...
Well, they did come back. They just didn't win.
Win the game. I'm glad they didn't win. The fact that they came back in the end... So what? You came close. You're still the Super Bowl loser. You're the NFC champs.
It made it a better game to watch. That's all it did.
Yeah, really. It was entertaining at the end. You had suspense. We're glad the Ravens won this game.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
I think even if you wanted the 49ers to win...
After what happened.
If they had one, it's not legitimate.
We never would have heard the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It would still be the story today. We'd still be talking about this for years.
The Ravens definitely were the better team.
Yeah.
They definitely deserved to win that game.
I mean, and ultimately, the legacy, when they look back in a few years, it used to be the Blackout Bowl. That's what it's going to be known as. No offense to the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. People are going to remember this game because the lights went out. You want to make some early predictions for next year? Are we going to make our Super Bowl picks like we did last year?
Wait, you mean Steelers Eagles over here?
Okay, okay. Now, last year, in the post-Super Bowl show, we made our first Super Bowl prediction for next year.
We did.
I did Texans Saints. This is pre-bounty. I picked the Saints.
That's true. I'll give you that one.
And you picked the Battle of Pennsylvania, the Eagles and the Steelers.
Should I do it again?
I mean, I think it's only fitting that this year we make our Super Bowl picks now for next year. We can do the same thing, right?
All the helmets?
Yes.
I have to think for a minute. I know my NFC team, actually.
Oh, okay, then start off, because I need to think as well. So you have your NFC pick already?
I do.
Okay.
My NFC pick, I'm going to go with the Green
Bay Packers. That's the easy one.
I think so. And I think this is... It's weird, because after the Packers won that Super Bowl, you sort of thought, oh, they're going to win a few more, right after, one after the other.
Yeah.
And they just sort of haven't done it.
Their defense has not shown up in the playoffs.
It hasn't, but when I look at the NFC teams, I see the NFC East as being potentially very competitive.
Yes.
And I already said about the NFC West, I think sort of the 49ers and the Seahawks will battle it out. But I'm not even sure who's going to come out on top there. I'm really not. Then you've got the Falcons, who I don't trust at all.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints, who I think will be better, but still have to coming off of this year. I'm not going to pick the Saints to win to go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucs, the Panthers, no thank you.
Right.
And then I go to the NFC North, and I think sort of the Bears are sort of the Bears. I don't know.
You don't trust the Bears because you don't trust they changed coaches.
Yeah. What are they going to be? 9-7, and then something like that. I don't know.
Their defense is getting a bit older.
Yeah. The Lions. I mean, this year I think the Lions were bad. I don't think they're going to be as
bad. The Vikings, I mean, asking Adrian Peterson to do that again isn't very
exactly.
fair.
That's what it is. I think the Vikings, that was sort of a one-year thing. I don't think the Vikings are going to go back to when they were 3-13, but I think they'll take a step back to maybe 8-8 sort of team, or 7-9. That would not shock me. So I think the Packers I think they are the easy pick in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the safe pick, but I have a feeling this is the year they're going to get back to the Super Bowl at least. Thought they might do it this year.
So glad you picked the Packers.
So you don't have to?
Yeah.
It takes that.
So I was debating the Packers and one other team.
Do it.
So I'm doing it.
Do it. I thought you were going to. I knew you were going to say Seahawks.
I don't know what it is. I'm not even like Pete Carroll that much, but I love that defense. I like Russell Wilson a lot. They got their taste of the playoffs this year, and quite frankly, they could have won that Falcons game. Yeah. It's like one of those teams you can't never really count out. Marshawn Lynch is still young enough; he's going to be effective still next year.
No,
and I think they have enough cap space; they can probably still do something.
What it is for the Seahawks too? That's weird. Why don't you just go spot them those 8 games at home?
Yeah, basically, right? There's at least 7.
At least 7.
Minimum. There's 7 wins right there.
That's 7-1 at least, at worst.
I think they know how to. They definitely know how to beat the Niners now. You saw that.
Yeah.
There's not a team in the NFC I could say the Seahawks cannot beat them. With the exception of possibly if they have to go to Lambeau Field. I don't know if they can win that game. Any team at home they can beat. I know they can go to Atlanta and win. I know they can go to San Francisco and win. I know they can go anywhere in the NFC East and win. The only team I'd worry about the Seahawks going to is like, if this is the NFC Championship game at Lambeau, that would worry me. I could see this being the NFC Championship game. I think you're going to see a million replays of the replacement referee call. Okay, who are you taking the AFC?
You know I have to do something a little.
Here we go. You're going with the non-playoff team?
No.
Okay. No. I can see you taking the Steelers again.
I could see myself taking the Steelers again.
I can see they're going to bounce back in the Super Bowl.
But I'd like to go for another AFC North team.
The Bengals?
I'd take the Bengals.
Okay. Interesting.
The Patriots aren't what they once were. Mm-hmm. Peyton Manning doesn't win in the playoffs. You've sort of seen that. He did once because you have to figure he gets there so many times. By one time he's got to win 1 Super Bowl.
Okay.
He does it. It was sort of between the Bengals and the Texans for me, even because when it comes down to what I said before, what I thought, which is that the Bengals have $50 million in cap space. They have the most cap space in the entire NFL. Mm-hmm. What were to happen if the Bengals go and add like a Percy Harvin? People are saying, "Oh, 49ers." What happens if the Bengals have AJ Green and Percy Harvin? That's insane, right there. Or even like a Mike Wallace.
I think they have a chance to add a better running back.
Yeah,
they have the cap space to do that.
Yeah, they could add a better running back.
I feel like they need one more impact player on defense. I think they're one player away on defense. They have a good defense, but they need that. They don't have that.
But we already talked about defense in today's NFL isn't as important. I mean,
we need a good enough defense to be able to stop the other team somewhat.
Think of that game. That game when they just crushed the Giants.
Yeah.
They've shown it a few times this year. It's almost like I felt like this year they were on the precipice of it.
Yeah.
Like think of the game where they crushed the Giants. They sort of were almost a really good team this year, but they weren't.
Oh, I have a question. You've been picking them to win the AFC North then. You're picking them to win the division.
Yeah.
Because you're not picking them as a wild card team to make the Super Bowl.
No, I'm not. I'm paying them to win the division. The AFC...
It's a big step you're predicting for the Bengals.
Yeah, I'll take the big step.
I can see them winning the division. I don't know if they're ready to make the step to the Super Bowl.
I mean, I'm taking the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I'm not taking the Bengals to beat the Packers. But,
It'd be a weird Super Bowl to watch. Packers Bengals.
That would.
It'd be very, really weird. I can't even picture it.
An odd Super Bowl.
It'd be really strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who are you taking?
I want to pick my heart wants to pick the Texans. I like that Texans team. I don't like Matt Schaub. So I'm going to go with Peyton Manning actually winning playoff games next year. The rest of the team, besides Peyton Manning, is young enough. I'm not worried about that. I mean, Eric Decker, Denarius are both very young. Their running game is interesting with Willis, and I don't know what they're going to do there. But I don't think it really matters. It's a pass-first offense. And then also, their defense has their secondary, Champ Bailey is only getting older. But Von Miller, Elvis Somerville, it's a young front seven. I think the Broncos, especially after the playoff disappointment of this year, I think they're going to be hungrier than they were last year. So here's our official Super Bowl predictions for next year.
Dun, dun, dun.
We saw how well last year's worked out.
Yeah, we didn't get any teams.
Because they had a playoff team.
Thank you for watching the Jeff
and the Bonch
Show.
Thank you for watching all season.
We'll be back when something of significance happens.
A few weeks.
There's a few.
At the latest, we'll be back for a free agency preview in mid-March.
Yeah,
free agency at the latest. Preview. That's the next time you'll see us.
Yeah, or if something really significant happens.
There's another coach suspended for bounties.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that happens, Backman Jones gets arrested in a strip club again.
That's not significant.
It's possible.
It's possible, not significant. Goodbye, America!
Shalom. We take out the playoff teams.
Yeah, take out the playoff teams.
And then of the non-playoff team, you want to pick a non-playoff team to make Super Bowl, you can do that.
Take out the Chiefs for me. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.